What's going on, guys? So before I get started with the main part of this video, I want to explain to you why I used something in the video that I used, because I know I'm going to be judged for it if I don't explain this. So I was looking all over the house for a clear container that I could put water in to show you how much different the truck feels driving over the exact same surface using the balancing beads that I have in my wheels. One day it's completely smooth, the next day it feels very bumpy, and it feels like the tires are way out of balance. Now, I was looking for a clear container, and I was asking my wife and my daughter if they knew where one was. Instantly, my 4-year-old daughter hops up and says, I know, runs off, comes back with this little container that's perfectly clear, but has a pink lid on top. So I told her, well, I prefer something that doesn't have a pink lid, and she said, please use it, please use it. That's why I'm using it. I can't let my 4-year-old down. So the purpose of the video, again, is to simply show you the mixed results I'm getting with these balancing beads. Now, I'm using the Magnum Plus balancing bead system. Basically, they're these little silicone, I really don't know what they're made out of. It's basically a compound that's not supposed to wear down or stick together or cause really any issues with clumping that you pour inside of your wheel. And really, you actually keep the bag, you toss the bag inside of your wheel full of these. They break apart while you're driving, and using centrifugal force, they go to the lighter side of the tire, so they balance your wheel and tire out while you're driving. Basically, it is an always on-demand balancing system that when you stop, they all roll down to the bottom of the tire, or at least they're supposed to. In my mind, I have this feeling that there's gunk inside of the tire. They're not perfectly clean. Maybe there's some, soap or something that they use to better seat the tire, something on the tire that's inside the tire and can cause these things to stick together. After I got my truck back from getting the tires installed, you saw the video where I talked a little bit about how I was getting this real mixed results in terms of if I felt they were working. Well, I wanted to test it a little further because I plan on taking the truck back and probably having them removed, because I don't personally think they work all the time. I think they work at times. Like right now, I'm driving on this relatively smooth road, and I'll let you see the water container that I have in the back, and it's not really moving much. But I can take this exact same road a few minutes from now, and I'll have an entirely different result. So it seems as if they're really out of balance until they find themselves in the perfect spot in the tire to balance out the heavy spots of the tire. And unfortunately, I don't think they go there all the time. I think there could be something that's either blocking them, something that's causing them to clump together, or simply the centrifugal force that's pulling them away or pulling them out towards the tread of the tire is positioning them incorrectly, and essentially they're stuck there and they don't have the ability to freely move to the area that they need to be to properly balance your tire. Now, I scoured the internet looking for examples of people who have had success with them and people who have not had that much success, and you're going to find it's about a 50-50 mix. There's people who have used them from day one and claim they are smooth as ice, they make the truck drive very, very smoothly, but then there's people who have used them and after a short period of time they've pulled them out because they have the same issue that I have. I'm not 100% sold on it because I'm not having really that great of results. I'm almost believing that it's best just to put either a stick on or a hammer on or a combination of weights to just help counteract the imbalance that there might be in the tires. So I'm picking up a little bit of a shake in the back right now. I'm going 63 miles an hour. If you look at the water container, you can kind of see how it's shaking a bit. It's not too bad though. This is definitely milder than it's been. But what happens when I come to a stop and then I go again, it kind of picks back up, and in some cases it doesn't feel as if it's balancing the tires out, and I'm getting a really bad shaking feel from the back. Now, I know that the results you're going to get are also based on the amount of balancing beads you put in your tires. In my specific case, my tires call for 6.5 ounces of the Magnum Plus balancing beads. And again, there's times when the truck feels very smooth. It feels as if I'm not having any type of shaking, any type of imbalance at all. But then I can go over that exact same road the next time I pass by, and it feels like I have a pretty harsh shake coming from the back of the truck. Sometimes it's from the back, sometimes it's from the front, sometimes it's side to side. It's just a very disconcerting feeling because I can't narrow it down all the time to any one tire or any set of tires. Right now it's doing pretty good, and you can tell by looking at the water. I'm about to get onto a bridge with some expansion joints, so you might see some of those cause the water to move. But overall, it's running pretty smooth. See, right here is a perfect example. I'm only going about 35 miles an hour, and you can really feel the truck shaking in the back. It's not so much the front, even though you can feel a little bit the steering wheel, but it's primarily the back, which indicates that a tire's out of balance. This is a very smooth road, and this is a road where normally I get no shaking at all. I'm also getting some shaking now in the front of the truck. And again, I think it all really comes down to those beads either clumping together and shifting, or just not properly going to the spots in the tire that they need to go to counteract the weight imbalance. I think what I'm going to end up having to do is just go ahead and have the beads taken out, have stick-on weights applied on the inside, have hammered-on weights applied on the outside edge, and force balance the wheels. I think that's ultimately what it's going to take to get rid of all the shaking. Hopefully it works. That's going to be my goal, to get that done. I don't necessarily have a lot of faith in the balancing beads. I know that they make the rings that you can put on that essentially act the same way. They have ball bearings inside of them, and they shift to the opposite end of wherever the weight imbalance is. But in my opinion, you know, having weights is probably going to be the best way to just guarantee the highest chance of balancing everything out the first time. Anyways, guys, as soon as I get that done, I'll make another video, drive over the same road, so you guys have an idea of if they're working or not. I'll let you know, of course. It's not that I don't believe balancing beads work, I just don't believe they're working for me. And you know, the feedback you hear from a lot of folks that have tried switching to them is that they just don't work for their specific application. I know that they're very common in heavy-duty truck tires, and I know the larger the tire, the better they seem to work. I don't really know why that is, but perhaps it's just the fact that I'm running 225/70 19.5s. Anyways, guys, follow along. If you haven't had a chance, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you again very soon.